gosh, I'm out of water. I need to get a refill because I am so hot and tired and thirsty. I'm just here at probably the most iconic landmark in the entire city of Seoul, South Korea. And this is the top of Namsan Mountain, where they have a tower and just the most incredible views, 360 of the entire city. I want to share with you how I got here. So let's go back to the beginning of the day, in the morning when I wasn't so exhausted and I still had quite a bit of energy. I've always loved the outdoors, going for hikes whenever I get the chance. In South Korea, there's no shortage of trails that take you through the woods up to rocky peaks with fantastic views. Be my walking partner today as I make my way up the most popular mountain in Seoul. It's not my favorite, but it should be on everyone's to-do list when you visit. That is a really impressive old gate right there behind me. This is one of the original ones in the city of Seoul, and I'm just starting here to take a little hike today. Now, I've done several of these city wall hikes in Seoul, but this one takes you to the most well-known mountain, and that's Namsan, with the tower on top. It's still pretty early, and the reason that I started that way this morning is because it is going to get quite a bit hotter. It is a gorgeous day though. The sun is out, it's bright, clear skies. You couldn't really ask for better weather, except for the fact, again, it's going to get up to probably over 90 degrees in about 2 or 3 hours. Hopefully I'll already be at the top of this hill before that happens. So right here is the start of the city wall portion, as you can see, with this rock structure along the sidewalk. And this is going to take us up the mountain. Something else that's really nice about starting this walk earlier is that there aren't a lot of people out here. So I have this whole trail to myself probably. Namsan Park. Well, that sign certainly lets me know I'm going the right direction here. But there's a lot of steps already. So far, not too bad. And there is shade here, for now anyway. I'm not sure if there's a lot coming up in this park that I'm going to walk through. But hopefully, because this is like a mountain with a lot of trees, there will be shade most of the way. This hike will probably take me about 1 hour to do. Really glad I wore sunscreen today. This sun is bright. But I'm starting to get a little bit higher here and the views are getting a lot nicer. This isn't actually the hardest thing to do, the hardest hike in the city, but it takes a little bit of energy. This seemed like a pretty good spot to stop and get a bit of rest before I keep going, especially since there's some shade right here next to this wall, because there hasn't been that much, and I think I'm going to go through another park that's fairly open. There will be more trees as I get higher. I'm not as young as I used to be, that's all I really know. So I just got to take it a little slower when I do these hikes. Oh, another water fountain. The area here around Namsan Mountain is filled with lots of history. There's part of the original section of the city wall here built in 1396 during the Joseon dynasty. It's a really fascinating place to see for yourself. And this section that I'm walking through right here is covered, and there is part of the original rocks that were used. As you go up the hill, I think it's been kind of revitalized and restored. And it looks really nice, but I think this is the old pieces that are still here, the relics. Okay, looks like I'm gonna be going back uphill in a second. I got a short reprieve with a flat area, but it's amazing that there are all these little areas to work out as well. So not only are people coming out here to climb this hill, which is already more exercise than I need, but there are areas where you can stop and use some of this free weight equipment and, you know, get kind of like a gym workout too. Even though I'm going straight uphill right now, at least I have the shade here. You know, all these trees provide cover from that incredibly bright, hot sun. I am coming up to an overlook area, so there should be a view. I think I'm gonna need another break in a minute. Sit down and drink some water. But I'm getting there. Something that I really like about these trails as well is that they are all lit up with lights at night, as well as having cameras here. Now, it does feel slightly invasive when you first see them, but they're really here for your own safety and protection. Look at this view you get when you get toward the top, and I'm not even all the way up there. This mountain sits in the center of the city, and once you get up here far enough, you really can't even tell because you're so far into nature, except for the views that you get when you look over outside these trees. It feels like you're out in the woods. A great place just to get a breather from all the traffic and crowds. And let me tell you, there aren't that many people actually doing this hike, because I'm not sure if I mentioned this earlier, but you can take a cable car up for a few bucks, which I think is what most people prefer. I like the challenge personally. This is a really unique tree right here because it's growing right in the middle of the pathway of the stone stairs here. Well, now I'm just about there. It's like maybe 5 minutes to the tower from here, but there is a little bit of an uphill at the very end, which I'm gonna struggle with. Okay, one last break stop before the final ascent. Let's do this. So close yet so far away. All right, as you can see, the stairs kind of changed here to these wooden ones. And then there are more and more buildings here that are kind of touristy. One is the actual cable car, which is the easier way to get up and down, especially with mobility issues. But yeah, we're gonna start seeing more and more kitschy stuff as we go for catering to the masses who visit. The last 5 or 6 steps are always the hardest. Oh. One of the best parts about hiking up here on your own before the cable cars start running in the morning is that there's nobody up here, no crowds at all, and you can kind of just walk around and enjoy the whole place. These are actually some ancient smokestacks where they would have, you know, burned fire, and then the smoke would come out and give a signal to the surrounding area because you're on top of this area here. Let people know about a danger maybe, or something going on. Okay, now that I've caught my breath a little bit and I'm on the top, there's a nice pavilion here you can rest at, which is pretty large. And then you've got the tower with a lot of shopping around it, a lot of stores, a lot of restaurants. So there is quite a bit to do when you get to the top here. And they also do like traditional demonstrations with the older weapons. There is this massive plush bear right here. I think it's part of a promotional thing. So they have all these locks here on the fence that couples, I guess, put on here. It's been kind of a trend for years, but they really must like it here. They have a whole thing where you can purchase them out of this vending machine and then add one. One of the best parts about the top of this mountain is that you get a 360 panoramic view of the city because it's right in the middle. And you can come to this side or you can go to the other side. There's literally no bad view, especially on a day as nice as today. Starting to think there might be over 1 million lockets here. There are just so many shops up here by the tower. There's a beer garden, there's coffee places, there are convenience stores, lots of seating, still with views through these windows. So you can sit down and rest. And I think there are actually several floors that go down and have different shops as well. So tons of stuff once you get to the top. You could stay here all day, have dinner and lunch. Thanks for joining me today, checking out this incredible spot. This is probably the one place you should definitely visit, especially if you have limited time in this city. Anyway, stay safe, healthy, and happy out there, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now. I gotta tell you, the hike down is way easier than the hike up. And you get to enjoy the views again for a second time. Thanks for joining me today. Life's a journey meant to be shared. Remember to always travel with an open heart and an open mind. Enjoy the ride and keep your eyes on the horizon for the next adventure. I'll see you out there.